So welcome everybody once more to the Australian National Championship sponsored by Saddleworld here in Sydney at SIAC. With me at the moment is Mary Hanna, Australian team member, recently returned from London. It's our best ever team average, our best ever result. Mary was part of a magnificent team with her fabulous sunset. Mary, welcome back.
Thank you, Ricky.
You must have enjoyed it. I saw a magnificent test in the Grand Prix. What was it like? How did you enjoy the ride?
I was really happy with my horse. I think he really put in an incredible effort in that test. The atmosphere was huge. You know, when you trot into that stadium and you get very little time there's no time to go around the arena, not even once, and it's just straight in sudden death. Down the long side and bang in. And
it looked fantastic. His trot work was superb. The half passes, what did they feel like to ride? They looked great.
He felt sensational. When he's like that, you feel like you can just sit there and he's just saying, how much more do you want? It's just a wonderful feeling that he gives you.
It really looks like there's a high level of self-carriage, and I'm sure the marks reflected it. I also thought the passage looked great. Did that feel great too? I wondered if you were it looked like you were doing nothing.
Yeah.
Were you? Or
No, I wasn't having to work hard at all, and that, to me, that always tells me that he's giving me the right feeling. When I get that, he can give me that lovely feeling where you come out of the test and you haven't raised a sweat because he is doing it for you. He's in front of the leg and going on his own. And of course, that's sort of the feeling we're all looking for. So that's the feeling he gave me in that test.
He's just a beautiful horse. You're a lovely combination. You know, I just felt so proud for Australian dressage to see a test of that quality being presented. And you're telling me it was a big atmosphere. I've got to tell you, it didn't look like the horse felt it was a big atmosphere. You looked very self-contained. You looked very much in control. It looked like it was the test that you were presenting. It didn't look on a knife edge. And it was mistake-free. I mean, congratulations.
No, thank you. I'm glad it looked like that because we had a few moments in the warm-up. In the first part of the warm-up, I had to warm up in the indoor, and there was quite a lot of wind, and there was a lot of flapping happening in the warm-up, and he's not a little bit noise sensitive about that sort of thing. So we had a few moments in the beginning of the warm-up where I thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But then when we got outside, he settled down. But the next tricky part was when you actually go into the arena, you have to go through a lot of crowd and a lot of people to actually get in there. And I'd already made a plan that I would just go trot really forward through that section so that he didn't have time to think about it too much and then get out there. And that's what happened. He was a bit hot. He got through that section, got into the arena, and then he sort of went, okay, this is good. And then he felt great from that moment.
Aren't we lucky here at Equestrian Life, and also the commentary here today, to be able to speak to Mary and hear about how it actually felt? Getting into the arena was clearly a big part. Am I right? You were directly after a break, so did you have a special strategy for did you anticipate it would be difficult? Remembering now, we all saw it, wonderful coverage back here, the chute coming out, the cameras were often on you there as you did the gear check. Did you know in advance? How did you get in the arena?
No, I had sussed out everything, as you do at these events. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I'd been down and checked it out the day before. I'd watched horses going in. I'd seen what sort of atmosphere there was. I was very grateful that I was after a break because that meant that I could sort of get through at the time that I wanted to, if I timed everything right, that I wasn't being held up by another horse or having to wait. So I left it to the last second so that I didn't have to walk and then just shot straight through. But they're the things when you're at the Olympics or at any major competition, as you know, Ricky, you have to check out every little detail and make your preparation and do your homework and know what's going on.
It's great, isn't it? Mary had that all prepared. That's experience, and I'm sure it's experience that Mary can pass on to other members of the team. Getting in there, and it looked like it, Mary. He came in, he looked $1 million going around the arena. You entered very positively, and that's what we want to show to the judges, isn't it? It's something I couldn't help but feel. We were undermarked. I guess I'm a judge. How can I stand here and say that? But as an Australian watching it, I just was thrilled with all three performances, I must say. So it's really forward. It's great that you've come back to Australia. It's great because people here at the National Championships, other riders can get to see Mary, our Olympic hero. I know you had a great time in Europe. You were incredibly successful. You built a reputation with the judges over there. You were away about 12 months. Big effort. You were happy that that plan really worked, yeah?
I think it was the best thing that I could have done under the circumstances. I felt that he was a relatively green horse and he needed that international experience. So I left 16 months before the Olympics, and it was my plan to travel him quite a bit and really expose him to all sorts of different things, and myself to get more up to date with what's going on. You have to be there all the time and see the standard, and it was an incredibly good standard. And watching all the horses leading up to the Olympics improving, and each competition they just get better and better and better.
It's a tremendous amount of effort that Mary has put in. We saw Rosie go over, we saw the Australian riders based over there, we saw Rachel make the big trip. Mary actually went over 16 months before. Interesting, isn't it, everyone, to know that? That's a tremendous commitment to be leaving your family and friends and your students, in Mary's case, at home. But how wonderful that she's come back and now she's passing all this on to students at home. What's happening at home?
Well, I have a couple of young riders that I've been coaching all the way along. One of them's here this weekend, which is Shannon McKimmie. And I have another rider, Steph Spencer, who has Rambo, that used to be my horse. And I'm pretty excited about these two young girls because they're both under 25 Grand Prix. Well, one's already started, Steph's already started under 25 Grand Prix, and Shannon's well on her way and looking to a start next year, we hope. So it's very exciting for me. That's my desire, is to come back and to build up some really good under 25 riders to the Grand Prix level, and help as many young riders as I can. Of course, I want to help all riders, but I think having watched how it's working in Europe, they're very good riders have come from the under 25 Grand Prix ranks, and I think that if we can really build that up and strengthen that here, that is the key to our future for good dressage in Australia.
Well, there you go. You've heard that from Mary Hanna. She has had such a lot of international experience. She's seen riders from the under 25 Grand Prix go on to represent their countries at the highest level, and she advocates that we be looking to support that here. In fact, she's doing it. She's doing exactly that. Mary, just having you out and about and competing, that's also tremendous for all the riders to see where you're at. I think we all learn from watching, from setting our sights on role models. What's your next competition?
Well, I'm hoping to get to Equitana. It's a big ask for my horse. He's only 4 weeks out of quarantine now, and so I have to be careful that I build him up gradually. So I'm not saying I'm definitely going to Equitana. If all goes well, I will hope to be at Equitana. But of course, the health of my horse is paramount, and when they've had that big break of 6 weeks in quarantine, it takes time to develop the muscles and get them going again. But I'll be doing the best I can to get out there. I actually can't wait to get back in the competition arena.
Oh, that's great to hear. And after Equitana, so you're hearing the scoop here on Equestrian Live, Mary's planning to come out in Equitana. What's happening for the league final? Is that the next target?
Yes, I understand there's a reasonable chance that I'll be able to start there. So in that case, of course, I'll be looking to try very hard to do as well as I can in that, because getting back to Europe is definitely in my program, and that would be a great stepping stone if I could do well there.
World Cup final is going to be in Gothenburg. Having ridden there myself, it's a tough one. They call it the Spring Horse Show. Now, I've got to tell you, Sweden, April, May, it doesn't feel like spring. It can be -5, -10 degrees. You'll go pretty early. That would be, best of luck that you win the league final, but supposing you do. Seriously, with the responsibility of a horse, you do have to plan ahead. You do have to have all this prepared, and I'm sure Mary has given it at least some thought.
For Gothenburg, I would probably go not too early, because then you get there and the horse changes coat to winter coat. He's already just changed to winter coat just now, so he's a pretty confused guy. So probably what I'd do is not go too early, so that I got the competition in before all the little problems that come in from travelling at that time of year happen. And then I would probably have a little break and do some training, and then try to stay on and do all the shows during the European summer.
Of course, going from Australia, you have to wait until the plane going that takes horses. So your ideal would be 3 weeks before?
Yeah, that would be just about exactly right. Yes, Ricky.
So let's hope there's a plane going. I hope IRT are listening to this. IRT are often, you use them, Mary?
Yes, I have been, and they've been very good. normally I don't have that problem because I have 2 horses, so I can make my own arrangements to suit me. But with 1 horse, anyway, it's a long way before we get that far. But I would like to get, no matter what happens, World Cups aside, my plan is to go back to Europe and compete next summer. And let's hope we can get the arrangements sorted, because that's in itself is logistically difficult.
It's a tremendous commitment, isn't it? And it's something that we expect, I guess we almost demand of our elite competitors, that they put so much in. Competition experience with the world's best, against the world's best, training alongside of the world's best. It's essential if we're going to make the step up to be even closer and, who knows, even getting into those medals. Mary, very best of luck. Roger Fitzharding's standing here beside us, and I'm sure that Roger has a question for you too. Roger.
How's the sailing?
Well, unfortunately, Roger, the sailing's been put on the back burner at the moment, but I can't wait to get out on that boat again. You are right.
I think Roger's alluding to the fact that Mary, maybe it just crossed her mind, possibly the Olympic sailing team. But I really don't think, no matter what the commitment, no matter what the strategic planning, I don't think it's going to be possible.
Well, there is the Etchells World Championships in Italy in June, so maybe we can slide that one in as well.
Is it tricky to control the wind or the judges?
I'm just controlling the boat's my major problem, Roger.
I think you do a pretty good
They
job.
don't call me Stacky for nothing, you know.
I think you do a good job of controlling both the judges and the wind, really. Sort of multitask, and I'm glad you can get away from horse occasion and sail as well. It must be a great relief, but, fantastic job in London with your horse. It was brilliant. And sitting back here in the lounge having a glass of wine at 2 a.m, I was most impressed. I thought your horse was sensational. And I can tell you the answer about enough marks for the Australians. I thought that they didn't get enough marks. And from the bottom of my heart, I actually judged it, and I had you a little bit higher than what you got for sure. But I am Australian. I am fairly loyal, but being honest, you did a fabulous job, and I think you should have got a few more marks.
Oh, thank you, Roger. That's some consolation.
Mary, Sunset, how old is he?
He's 11, yeah.
So he's a young horse.
Young, yes.
Rio is really his aim. It's 3 and a bit years away, and he's going to be the perfect age in
exactly,
Rio.
yeah.
So very best of luck, and thank you for spending some time with us today.
Thank you very much, Vicky. Thanks, Roger.